Oh, God damn it. Yes, okay. Hello, welcome to another episode. We'll be starting a new campaign, Pathfinder. It's going to be an evil campaign. We're using the first edition rules. And the campaign's name is Better to Reign in Hell. So I'm introduced by... I'm here with 3 old faces and 1 new one. Does everybody want to go through and introduce their character quickly? We'll start with Xander, because he's the new guy.
I'm a barbarian named Irie, which I got the name from saying wrath in a different language. So, yeah, and I'm a barbarian, and I kill shit.
Excellent. And
simple, I like it.
Yep. Next we'll go to Kit. You wanna...
Oh, okay. Alright. I'll introduce myself as I'm a bard. Yeah, I'm a Kitsune bard. That's also a gunslinger. And ever since I've lost my memories, I've been trying to keep track of everything that happened to my life.
Excellent. And Anthony, you want to introduce your character?
I am Horus, a tortured soul from a raider who was enslaved and stuff like that from a group of raiders, who then discovered he had slightly magical powers, turned into a vigilante after he escaped, and is now a red mantis assassin to fulfill his life's goal of just pure efficiency. And he idealizes their methods of just pure, effective, cold brutality.
Excellent. And
like a League of Legends character.
and last off, Marcus.
So I am playing Barry and Stardew, also known as Bastard by the other street urchins, because they couldn't really get the hang of his name, so they just ended up calling him Bastard instead.
Alright.
Now, as he was growing up, he decided that he needed to get out of the streets, so he hooked on with the local corpse bearer to give himself something to do. And as he was hanging around with the bodies, he got very curious about them and decided he wanted to see if he could make them walk again.
Excellent. Alright, so yeah. So the players have wildly different backstories. None of them have actually encountered each other until the fateful moment when they were all contacted by, mysterious figures who later turned out to be Hell Knights. They brought them to a outpost belonging to the Order of the Pyre, and from there they've been pretty much lavished with exotic foods and spices, whores, everything. Everything you could possibly desire for the past month, while also receiving training. And they've been told that they're going to go onto a mission after by some group known as the Council, but they won't. There's sort of hush-hush on that. But today they've decided that you shall be meeting the Council and you'll be heading off for the mission that they've hired you for, so to speak. First off, they take Xander. They take you down a long corridor to a part of the keep that you're in that you've never been to. As you sort of go through, it's quite cold because they're taking you quite far underground. The stone is dark black. You can see the ash all along the walls from all the books and heretics they've burned down here. But despite that, it's quite cold. They probably haven't had any burnings down here for quite some time. And eventually they take you up to a large pair of bronze gates. And when they open this, you see nothing inside, just pitch black. And they sort of just push you through the blackness. And then all of a sudden you're in just a completely different environment. The stones here are white marble with seemingly no connections between the stones. There is gold filigree decorations skirting the top of the room. The roof is a massive fresco depicting numerous scenes that you probably wouldn't be able to recognize. You didn't have knowledge of religion at all, did you?
No.
No, I didn't think a barbarian would. So they seem to be some types of devils and so on and so forth. You can't quite tell what it's about. But at the end of the room, there is 5 figures sitting raised behind a table. They're all hooded, and behind them they each have a banner with a logo on it. And in front of them, hanging from the table, there is a massive red banner with a logo, a coat of arms, which looks like a crown with 5 points. And logic dictates that that's probably 1 point for each of the people sitting behind there. They're all covered in shadows, despite the brightness that the room would have otherwise. And you've noticed the room is also very hot, much more comfortable now for you as an Ifrit. And the one in the middle motions for you to come forward.
I walk a bit forward, like almost directly in front of the table.
Yeah. So the it's not really. It's like more like It's not a table. That wouldn't in a good way. It's more like a you know how judges they sing like on a elevated sort of pedestal. Yeah, it's like that. So they're quite elevated, quite far above you.
How tall is it?
It's probably around.
How far?
It's what would this be in feet? It would be about 15 feet tall.
Okay.
So they're very high. They're quite elevated, and yeah, and then
halfway there.
Yeah. So one of them does like a gesture with their hand, and a chair sort of appears in the middle in front of you.
I open it.
No, a chair.
Impulsively.
A chair.
Oh, a chair. I heard a chest.
Sorry, no, a chair.
I sit in it.
Yeah. So the middle one speaks up. So we've heard about your great deeds with your clan, and I'm sure that the Hell Knights told you that we would be eventually speaking to you. We are the patrons who brought you here. You simply refer to us as the council. We are bringing you. We brought you here so we could take you across. So you'd be taken across the ocean. There's a new continent that sort of emerged from the ocean, previously undiscovered, and would very much like you to take control of it. We would believe your skills in unarmed combat would serve us quite well. And then they sort of just stop talking, and they're sort of waiting for you to say something.
Do I get to plunder?
Most certainly.
I'm good.
Excellent. And they sort of just motion you to leave the room. Yeah.
All right, he goes.
Yeah, and as soon as you stand up, the chair disappears again, and yeah, you walk on out. And and next they bring Kit's character in. It's pretty much the same. You go through the cold underbelly of the Hell Knight fort, and then you enter the same room. Exact same thing. They motion you to come forward, chair in the middle, and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they look at you. And your name was is it Aisha? Is that how you say it? Aisha. Isa. Isa. How old is your character? You're quite young, weren't you? Yeah. Isa, a young kitsune. You have had a interesting background. Unlike the others here, you're rather fortunate. And in this fortune, you acquired quite the skill as a crack shot with your gun, as well as a way with words. I'm sure that your banishment from Bravo and your parents' death was quite unfortunate. And
I shouldn't know that.
Oh, you don't know that?
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't. Okay, so they don't say that. Sorry, because you just sort of bullet pointed things. So, Espers Consortium. So, your work with the Espers Consortium has been quite interesting. Counted in. Yeah, okay. And we're sure your sharpshooter skills would also aid the group that we've pulled together. I'm sure you've probably seen them around the place. You seem to be also quite apt at infiltration. I'm sure that would also serve us quite well. So we'll be sending you across to the new continent soon. Do you?
I pick up hearing the word new continent.
Yeah. And then they're just like, do you have any questions?
Will I be expecting the usual mission, or will there be something else?
There will be quite a lot of the usual stuff, but you can also expect the unexpected. This is new territory, after all, and there will be a lot that goes involved in a lot involved in the missions ahead. But I'm sure you will be able to adapt quite well to it.
Yep.
Anything else?
I think that'll be really well.
Excellent then.
I'll stand up and bow to them. Then I'll tell them I hope I don't disappoint.
Yes, we hope you don't either. And they nod their head. The one. Yeah, and then the someone who's always been speaking just signals for you to leave again. Well, leave, I guess. Excellent. And yeah, so you leave the room as well. Next, they'll bring in Anthony.
Okie doke.
So yeah, same thing. You go down the thing, and yeah, you enter the room. Same thing. Chair in the middle. So on and so forth. Yeah, they sit down. They give you the same briefing that you're going overseas, and they go, "So, Red Mantis, we feel that you and the service of your god would be very useful indeed. One of the others seems to be quite apt at assassination, but they are much different approach to you, and it's always good to have some versatility after all."
I agree. Tell me, are there monarchs on this island, however?
Most certain. We're sure there is. We've only done preliminary scouting, but we know that there is currently a queen but she's not in power at the moment, and there is a regent ruling in her stead.
Tell me, this queen, is she the rightful heir, the rightful ruler of this nation?
From what we
Or
are
has the
aware,
regent
yes.
usurped her?
From what we can tell, she seems to be a minor, but yes, she is the rightful heir, and she hasn't come of age yet.
You understand that I will not slay her, correct?
That is fine.
Very well, what do you ask of me then?
There is many others to be slain. Lords and
Very
ladies, as well as corrupt guardsmen and so on and so forth.
I will not touch the rightful monarch. All others, however, may fall to my blade.
This is very well. Yes, did you have any other questions?
I'm sure I can figure out the rest along the way with my comrades.
Excellent, excellent. And yeah, they just signal you to leave as well.
Off I skedaddle.
Yep, and last but not least, they bring in Marcus's character. Same thing.
Oh, cool! Magic chair!
Most enthusiastic reaction so far.
Yes, this is only a mild show of our power, not really something we expected you, rather skilled mage, to be impressed by, but as it happens...
I can make bodies move, I can't make magic chairs.
Yes, and your skills will definitely complement the others very well. You fill in the gaps that are missing. They all seem to be much more on the killing side. I'm sure that will complement your skills very well. After all,
yes, I'll be very grateful for the extra practice.
Yes. So, do you have any questions regarding the mission itself?
No, but I do want to know where you got the horse from.
We got them just from the local city. I'm sure they did. They don't really know how to take that.
Look, it's been a long time since I've been among the living, so this is an interesting experience for me.
Yes, and I'm sure that it will be an interesting experience visiting a new continent previously undiscovered.
But there's people on it, aren't there?
Yes, there is.
So how is it undiscovered?
Well, it sort of popped up out of nowhere. It wasn't there before, and now it is.
Ah, okay. That's fair enough. Can you show me how to make the magic chair?
Oh,
No, I can see I'm annoying you now. I'll go.
Okay. Yeah, and you sleep. Yeah, and as each one of you left the room, you actually ended up exiting the doorways, but you didn't end up in the same hallway. You ended up in a completely different room that has only one door at the end, which is barred. And as you came through the door that you you exited from disappears. You're all now standing in the room with each other. This is probably the first time that you've actually properly been with one another since you've sort of just been around and they haven't actually given you much information on what the hell is going on.
Like magic door.
I roll perception on everyone.
Okay, give me give me one perception test.
Are we gonna have to describe our characters now?
No, probably.
Depends
how we will be interact.
Is anyone like hiding anything on themselves?
No, I'm in my social identity, but I've got my 2 sawtooth sabers strapped to my side.
Okay, cool.
I have gauntlets on and some leather.
Okay.
I'm
That
wearing a
tattoo
great
on my
as well.
chest.
Okay, so it's a very good perception test. So there's no one's actually hiding anything on themselves or anything. It's all in the open. Yeah. Okay. Do you guys just all want to describe your characters then, like an actual physical description?
Yeah.
Probably be best to go around the table rather than us all try at once.
Yeah. So we'll do the same order. Xander first.
Alrighty. So you see this hulking, he's 8'4" Ifrit with red eyes, black messy hair, and red tinted skin with leather straps and a tattoo of a howling dragon on his chest.
Damn, I thought I was edgy.
Yep. Next.
Look, Edgelord!
Next we'll do Kit's character.
Careful, don't cut yourself.
Alright. I introduced myself as Isa. Ooh, I've got my last name.
Hang on. It's like
It's
Nihil. Yeah. That.
Yep, Nihil. Then I bow right in front of him, telling them, "I'm guessing you guys, you'll be my team members for this trip."
Mm-hmm.
And Isa is 5'6" Kitsune, I think. Yep.
How much of a furry is your character? You're like Ari level, or are you full on furry?
Ari level.
Ari level. Okay. Excellent.
Ari level.
Okay, good.
She'll have silver hair and brown eyes.
Okay, good.
And she'll just be normally wearing normal traveling clothes.
Excellent.
My name, Irie.
Next we go to Anthony.
I'm standing there in my casual clothes, but just with my rapier strapped to my side. I am average height, probably like 5'10", 5'11", just male human, nothing fancy. But I've got a couple bruises like here and there from what would probably be like more like a tavern brawl than anything else. And I'm pretty solidly built as well. But more the agile fighter than the brutish kind. Yes. And I seem to be very casual, nothing fancy.
Excellent. And lastly, the wizard.
So, I'm standing here as a 6'3" elf with, usual elf fare, nice pointed ears, real blonde hair, just looking absolutely fucking fantastic. as you do.
Yep, and
Wearing a robe that looks like it's just made out of string.
Wait.
so in like contrast to your fanciness.
Yeah.
Makes
So it
sense.
looks like. So what I'm actually wearing is called the robe of infinite twine.
Okay.
I love it.
That's actually the name of the item. It's the robe of infinite twine.
I think guess what this does already. Yeah.
Go on, see if you can figure it out.
Oh,
Well-
actually, sorry, I'll change something quick. I do not have my weapons on me
Okay. You do not have any weapons.
because they're stowed in my handy haversack. Just realised I had money for one.
Oh, okay.
Aha.
So I am not carrying any weapons on me, or at least I have pairs that I'm not carrying any weapons on me.
Yeah, and your perception test, you quickly scan over, and you can't see any like hidden weapons. Like you don't have like a knife in your boot or anything like that, eh? It's just your suitcase.
Actually, no, I do. I have a bunch of daggers on me,
Okay.
so I should probably roll my sleight of hand.
Yes, and see if you beat it.
Does my
Hold
foot
on.
and my boot count as a weapon?
Sleight of hand. There we are. I don't have the bonus yet for hiding it. Oh no, that's 10 d6s, not at plus 10. Hold on.
Yeah.
10 d20s. There we go. Damn.
Okay, yeah. So you notice your character.
4 daggers.
Yeah, you notice that he's carrying 4 daggers on him, and they're all hidden. Where are they hidden on you?
Boot, sleeve.
Okay. Yeah, you can see like the bulk of the daggers in each of those locations, and you know he's armed.
Yeah.
So how are you walking? Very fucking carefully, I expect.
Well, I'm
Part of the art, bro. Part of the art.
I'm assuming that they're in sheaths. I'm not.
Yeah. I'm not walking around with freaking unsheathed daggers everywhere. Like, come on, man. Yeah, that's stupid.
Don't be a bitch. Unsheathe those daggers.
Oh.
Yeah. So just role play the interactions between your characters as they all walk in.
Who's the tallest again?
You.
Who's the second tallest?
The elf.
Probably, yeah.
Does he look
Sorry.
physically adept?
No, he's a wizard. He's a wizard.
He's as thin as a rake. Like, he's literally just a tall fucking elf wearing rope. What did you think?
Wearing rope.
Does that look physically intimidating to you? You look like you could probably snap him in half if you tried.
Points at him, says Magic Man. Who's the buffest out of us except for me?
That would be Anthony's character.
I'm not buff. I just look like I fight all the freaking time.
Yeah, which counts.
Good fighter.
Yeah.
He,
You have the
he
ice
puts
on
out
the
his fist to him.
And sorry, what do you say?
He says good fighter and he puts up his fist to him.
Like fist bump.
I size it up and then just kind of fist bump him. And I go, oh frick, how do you pronounce the name? Never mind. I need to bring up the freaking Red Mantis hometown again. The freaking name is bloody mouthful.
It is. Do you want to do that now?
Islamagorti.
Yes. So did you just say that? And say,
I fist bump and I go, I fought often in the taverns of Islamagorti. I know how to hold my own.
And I'm guessing as a barbarian you have no knowledge on anything at all.
Nah, I just call it is.
It's I-L, so it's Islamagorti. It's a freaking mouthful.
It is.
Hey, I don't want to.
He didn't even say his hometown. I would like to do a knowledge check to see if I know anything about it.
So the knowledge. What knowledge would that be? You can do all knowledge, can't you? Do you have any differences? Hang on, let's scroll up.
I'm just going to record this here just so I have it for future reference.
Islamagorti.
So you have local and history. I guess it would be local, but it's not. Yeah, just roll local. I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah, locals to towns and villages.
Yeah, okay. Roll knowledge local.
But there's modifiers
Wow,
on
that was
distance.
bad.
Holy shit.
You actually You had a plus 11, didn't you? So you got 12. You got 12. Yeah, because it's not a big town, eh? It's on the.
No, local is some 10.
Population 10,500, size large city.
Okay,
It's the nation of Mediogasi Island. It's also titled as Scum City, Black Pearl of the Tropics. It's an unruled, lawless town where the Red Mantis hire people. And they get contracts because the town's mayor is a Red Mantis assassin.
Yeah.
It's
But
a rule of law. You have to be able to protect yourself. There's no police or anything.
Yeah.
Or guards. Nothing.
I'm just trying to think because the role, I'm just like, it's like that would be good enough for like major cities or local towns, but it's like, yeah, you don't know the name per se, yeah.
For ref. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I'm just trying to find Absalom's city size.
Absalom's like huge or something.
300,000. Elismagorty is 10,000.
Yeah, so it's
for a comparative reference.
It's like so it's more like a large town opposed to a city. Yeah. So
it seemed large city.
But that's relative.
Absalom is metropolis.
Yeah. So you don't know of it at all with that role. Like if it was a metropolis, you would know about it, but not with that role. Yeah, with that role, you don't know of a large city. Yeah. Yeah. Did you?
Hi guys, my name's Barry Starden. That was bloody weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just.
There's for reference, by the way.
What was that, Kurt?
No, I just coming back to that's how they do their jobs, really.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys continue talking, or?
I am Irie.
My name is Horace. Pleasure to meet you.
Horse.
Horace. H-A-R-U-S. Or do you just call me Horse?
He's gonna call you Horse.
I look at him and go, kind of think to myself, Don Barbarian, never mind. And I don't comment that, but I think it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to give a sense motive to see if you pick that up? You probably won't, unless you roll really well.
By the way,
sure.
We uploaded a PDF because I changed my skill. I think.
Oh, okay. That's all right. That's all right. I'll do it later, but
because I shuffled around my skills for some stuff.
So it'd be sense motive versus, I don't know, diplomacy.
Bluff.
Or bluff.
It would just be because I don't make too much of an attempt to hide it, I guess. So it's just he has a -1.
Oh,
is sense motive a train skill? It's not a.
No, it's not. You can always do it. Yeah, it's like perception. You can always do it.
I guess I'll roll bluff.
Okay. Yeah, it's just to hide your face.
I literally just look at him and just shrug.
Okay. Then.
Okay.
Like my mental thought is dumb barbarian. My outward appearance is okay. Whatever.
Alright, just give him a DC 5 to see if he understood it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
Wow, that's my bluff. If you're making me roll something here.
Yeah.
Because my action is not to offend him, it is literally just my thought of, okay, this is the kind of guy I'm dealing with. Not the, man, this guy's an idiot.
Okay.
Because I'm also in my social personality right now.
Alright.
I am outwardly quite friendly.
Okay. I'll leave it stand then. Yeah, you just register as a shrug, and you're just like, okay. You're not sure how to take the random shrug out of nowhere.
I turn to the elf. And what do you do again?
I do magic.
What kind of magic?
I make bodies do stuff.
Bodies?
Like dead ones, you know.
Are you of the necromantic arts?
I've been known to dabble, yes.
And are you aware of what my profession is?
Well, I'm assuming that like the other of these guys, you're the killers. That's what the guys in there told me, that you guys are all killers and I'm the guy who cleans up the bodies or something like that. I wasn't really paying attention. I was too impressed by the chair.
I forgot to say, killing's not really my main job focus, but
Very well. Well, to make sure there is no misunderstandings between us, I worship Uchaek, and those that I slay should remain dead. I prefer it not if you. I'd prefer it if you left them that way.
Do you mind if I make the flesh go away?
I'd prefer it if the dead remained as such.
Yeah, I'm not going to raise them. I just want to make the flesh go away because bones are a lot easier to clean up than an entire body.
I'm not 100% sure how to take this. So, just to clarify, you're indicating raising them from the dead as skeletons?
No. I have a spell. I know a spell that lets me
Yeah,
turn corpses into skeletons.
Yeah,
what
there's
do you
this.
do with those skeletons?
But
I
then
think
you
that's what it's trying to-
control the skeleton. That's my point. If my character
No,
wants them.
That's not what I'm
No,
saying.
no, there's a spell that
Burn
literally
bones.
lets you just strip all the flesh off a body.
Okay, so just saying he literally take off the skin, so
Okay, so he just like de-skins and de-fleshes a corpse.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Okay.
it's just so I can make them easier to get rid of. That's all.
Oh.
We can't
As
really
long as
have.
the dead remain dead, I have no qualms with your methods, my good sir.
Okay, that's fine by me.
And
I
you
don't
there,
know.
Fox, what do you do?
when he says that, I'll copy his exact features.
You'll clone me, just whoop, hello.
So
me.
you're casting Alter Self, I'm guessing.
This guy's self, but it's at will, I think.
It still takes like 6 seconds to complete it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since I have a realistic likeness, it's gonna exact copy this likeness.
Okay. Yeah. So
As
as you
as-
say that, her face just changes into yours.
well, because she has to cast the spell, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Bad. Very,
I wanna-
very bad.
I want to attempt spellcraft to identify the spell she's casting as she's casting it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanna-
So
Can
that's
I do the same?
I fail. It's
Okay.
10 plus twice spell level, I think.
yeah, it's a first level spell. So you only need a 12, but okay, yeah, you can roll as well.
I want to just I just want to see if I know the spell. I just want to not roll Arcana knowledge.
It's a spellcraft.
Sorry, no, 15 plus spell level.
Yeah, so it would be 16. Yeah. So yeah, Brandon can roll spellcraft. It's spellcraft to identify a spell being cast.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you should have that maxed out, by the way, as a wizard, just so you know. It's very important because it allows you to pick up. Yeah, you identify it as disguise self.
Nice.
As she's doing that, I point and say bad.
Oh, it's just magic, meathead.
I like how there's 3 spellcasters and 1 dude who just punches stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, her face changes into your face as response.
I look at myself
Yeah.
and go, oh, well, that's very interesting. I guess you shall be our infiltrator then.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's always been my job.
Does she sound like me?
Yes.
Do you though? For disguise self? I don't think
don't
so.
think so.
Alter self
Disguise-
does.
Really? Because
He's trying to disguise this.
it's changed shape. I could say. Yeah, it's just his appearance
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Because alter self does, but I didn't think disguise self did. You make self clean so to look different. You see one.
Then I'll do a disguise.
It does not alter
Yeah, does not-
tactile touch or audible sound properties
Yeah.
Ah, like that.
of your equipment as well. So if you're in freaking heavy plate, people will hear that from the merchant walking down the street in leather.
Yeah.
Alright.
Wait a minute. Something's fucky here.
Yeah, basically.
Something is not as it seems.
But yeah, that's your response. And I guess saying, are you guys all done with interactions with one another?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, from the door on the other side of the room for which you came in, it opens up and a troll wearing Hell Knight plate walks in.
Oh dear. Don't look at this dude.
Yeah. Goes, you lot, Do not disappoint. They told us we would take you across the ocean. There, the cult of Razium also went. Your first mission will be killing them, and then taking that town that which they have settled in to be our own outpost. Do not disappoint, or we kill. You understand?
Sorry, who are you going to kill?
I will kill you.
Oh, right, yes, that makes more sense now.
Oh.
I'm not sure I like this guy.
Well, he's a troll and a Hell Knight. He's about 15 feet tall, solid muscle.
He's terrifying. You don't mess with this dude. You ain't gonna kill him.
I wasn't planning on it.
And he's wearing full heavy plate. Hell Knight plate.
Fun.
And you said the cult of Razima.
Yeah, I think that's how you spell it, Resma.
Would we be aware of this knowledge? Like what they are?
They are... Is anybody from the River Kingdoms?
Nope.
No, knowledge religion then. Or
No, I don't have that.
local. I guess because it's also area knowledge. Oh, it'd be history, I guess, instead. So religion or history, up to you.
Alright. I'll use my history, sure. Because it's the highest one.
Okay, do that. Yeah, so Razimir was a man claiming to be a god ascended. He claimed to touch the star zone and ascend, and then he took control over a portion of the River Kingdoms, claiming himself to be a living god.
Random cultist.
An arrogant wannabe. I've got knowledge and ability. Would that count?
It's more either religion or history, I reckon. You could do nobility. I don't think it would count as nobility. Oh, yeah, I'll let you roll it. I'll let you. Okay, it's like you got the same sort of. You know the same sort of thing. He sort of came in.
Basic details.
You know he overthrew the king after the king sort of called him out for his bullshit. He burned down the entire city he was in.
Mm.
And that was pretty much one of the things that cemented him as a living, as people thinking him of him being an actual god, is he just destroyed an entire city.
Mm.
Yeah, and then the troll looks at you and goes, "And when we're done, you go to big city. There you'll meet up with Sal. You work for them. Do not disappoint. Council don't like disappoint. Disappoint council, you die. Understand?"
Yes, sir.
Really?
Good. They may not look it, but they were powerful.
You different from clan.
Okay, and then he walks out, and he just sort of turns to you and he signals for you to like follow, like really aggressively, like sharp motion with his arm. It's like, come on. Doesn't say anything, but
I not hastily, but stand up and follow him without like hesitation.
yeah. And as you exit this room you're in, you realize you're actually on a ship. You've already left. Yeah.
Wow, how the hell did that happen? This is amazing.
Do we like suddenly feel the sway of the boat?
Yeah.
Or is it like? Oh, okay.
Yeah. You walk out and then you sort of feel it, and you look behind you, and the room you exited from, it's like sort of like a TARDIS situation. You like look behind and you see like you exit through the captain's quarters. And you're like, that shouldn't be as big as we were in, because the room you're in was a large, very large room.
I want to open the door.
Yeah. So if you go back and open the door, it's literally just the captain's quarters.
Amazing. Wow, what great magic. I really wish these guys would teach me something.
Like water or boat.
Well, then meet...
Eat fruit.
Then maybe you should just sit down and go to sleep.
How do you respond? How do you respond to that?
1 second. He goes to sleep.
Yeah. So are the rest of you still following?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he starts to go down to like the underbelly of the ship, and then he sort of, as he like turns around to go find, he sees the Ifrit lie down, and he just sort of cocks his head to the side, scratches his head, and goes, just in a big booming voice, "Oi! Wake up!"
He gets up.
And he just looks at you, and he's just like staring daggers at you.
I suggest we follow, friends.
Alright, well,
Oh, this guy's really
I
mean.
just want to point out my change shape is counts as an alter self.
Oh, counts as alter self, yeah. So you can change your voice and everything with that.
Yep.
Okay. Good to know. Excellent. So I'm guessing you all follow him down. So you go down, and he just literally takes you to your series of bunks, and he goes, "Yous will be sleeping here for duration of trip. Not that long, only 2 more days. Food over there," and he points to the other side of the staircase. There's like the stairs come down, and then it's like there's a wall there, like under the stairs, and it's like a door, and it's like, "Food through there. Yous all sleep here. Any questions?"
I'd like to ask if they brought my horse with me.
"Horse on other boat," and he points out a thing to a bigger ship across there. "Animals over there."
Oh,
What? So what do we do for fun on this ship?
"You know fun. You work."
What are we doing?
He literally just grabs he gets a mop, and it looks really small to him, and he just puts it in your hand. "On deck, mop."
This isn't fun.
"Not meant to be fun."
But I thought we were having a boat trip. You're really mean.
"Shut up. Work." And he goes to he looks at Anthony and the Ifrit, and he's like, "You two, kitchen." And then he grabs another mop, gives it to the Kitsune. "You also mop. But you mop down here."
Alright.
Yeah, and he gets you guys all working.
Okay, well I'm just going to cast Mage Hand so I don't have to actually do it.
Okay, yep.
Ironically, that was exactly what I was going to do as well.
Yeah, so you go in, and there's a few there's about 2 more full Hell Knights, one of which is a Hell Knight signifier. You can tell because he's got his helmet doesn't have like a face on it. It's just literally like a blank thing. And then there's also a few Hell Knight armigers walking around, so they're like Hell Knights in training type thing. And they're doing the same menial work as you.
Why did they always make me mop? Damn it.
Yeah. So how does everybody? So you all. So the wizard's using Mage Hand to mop, not doing it himself.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you do instead? Like while you're just Mage Hand is doing its thing.
Well, see, there's a bit of a problem with this, is because I still have to concentrate.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just sitting there. You're just mental work.
Just sitting there, just pointing my finger at the mop.
Okay.
God, it goes.
Excellent. Next, what about the Kitsune with their mopping?
I'll try to wander around where I'm able to wander, pretending to be mopping.
Okay. So you walk around the underdeck. You're sort of mopping the bunks. You count that there's probably, including you, there's 6 more bunks, and so you can figure that there's probably 6 more of the. There's probably 6 of the armigers who are down here. The Hell Knights have their own area where they sleep, separate from the squires. And as you're going through, did you go through any of their stuff or anything?
No.
No.
I'm not that stupid yet.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, because there is a couple of other. There are a couple of them down there, cleaning gear and so on.
Yeah. We just want to scout out the under deck.
Yeah, so the underdeck's rather simple. It's just a galleon. It's got the sleeping area, which you're all shown, and that you're mopping. It's got the little kitchen area. Then there's a further area down, going down another set of stairs, which is like the actual like underbell, which has the it has like a couple of cages for like prisoners, and then it has a bunch of supplies as well down there.
Oh, so that's where the brig is.
Yeah, that's the brig here. And then obviously it has the upper area. On the upper deck there is the area where the captain's quarter is, which obviously has the wheel above it, and then on the other side there is also a upstairs area, which you can probably assume is where the other 2 Hell Knights stay. And that's the basic layout of the ship. It's got 2 full masts, and there seems to be a fleet with you. There is about 2 more ships of your size. There is 1 sort of more man of war size ship, so a large one with multiple decks and so on. And then there's a couple others which are slightly bigger than yours, and there's about 5 more which are smaller than yours, like more like small frigates.
Wow, it's a massive armor there.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Wait, what? There's frigates.
Yeah.
Just like,
Okay, so this is a big fleet.
yeah, it's a big fleet.
Yeah, it's a big frigate.
And while being in the kitchen, I like.
Frigates are fucking huge, man.
Frigate's the bigger one.
I guess after I scout
Yeah.
down, I'll like.
Yeah, so there'd be 2 frigates, a man of war. You're on a galleon. These, what did I say? 3 more galleons, and then these 5. What's the size down from the galleon? Is it like?
Really depends on how small you want to go.
Yeah.
So from galleons, you're probably going to go down to brigs,
Okay, so I guess there's 5 brigs then.
Okay.
and then after that, we get schooners and yachts.
Okay, yeah, so that'd be brigs then. I don't know my ships that well. Jeez.
That's right, I do.
Okay, there we go.
Nice. So, after I scout around, I head to the kitchen to check on the other 2.
Yeah, and what are the other 2 doing in the kitchen?
While in the kitchen, I'm constantly talking with anyone else in there, the other like Hell Knights and stuff, just kind of asking information. You know, do they know what the fleet is for? How many teams are going? Are other kind of cells like us also hired? Stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm looking
so-
very confused
so
at a
this-
frying pan.
Yeah, so there's 2 Hell Knight armigers down there. One of them doesn't really say anything. He's just a half elf. He's sitting there. He's just sort of like, eh. He's sort of grunting whenever you say anything. The other one's is a human, and he doesn't shut up. He just keeps on talking, but he does it in a way where he sort of seems to answer your question, but you can clearly tell he's also dodging you. He's like dodging answering the
Okay.
question.
Sensing motive.
Yep, do that.
It's a 7, not too bad. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's quite nice. Yeah, so yeah, as you can tell, yeah, he's trying to be polite, but he's not you can tell he's not answering questions, but it's probably not because he's being like a dickhead. It's probably more so that he has orders to not tell you. You can tell he's probably quite clever because he is, where he's not like sort of mucking up with his speech. He's sort of, you can tell he's more eloquent with his words. He's dodging you in a way that it's not revealing much, but it's sort of, you can tell he's not doing it because he's a dick. He's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, he has some level of understanding for like decorum and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
He understands. Yeah, he's following his orders, but he's doing it in a way that he's also not shunning you like the other dude.
Yeah. I kind of respect his privacy and just don't probe him too far, and then kind of make polite conversation afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I guess
Gotta cook something.
excellent. Yeah, they literally just they literally just give you some onions to cut, and then there's like, yeah, so they just have a bunch of onions for you to cut. Anthony's peeling potatoes. The one talking's the one who's actually doing the cooking, and then the other guy's preparing meat. So yeah, that's the basic gist of what's going down in the kitchen. And I guess you how do you make your presence known, Aisha or Isha, whatever it is.
I just nudge him. Well, it's the red scorpion guy.
The red mantis.
Yeah, the red mantis.
Yeah.
Yeah, which nudge him, wave hand.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at you with the "and what do you want" kind of look on my face.
Like, I
Can't
tell
you see
him
I'm
like
chopping onions?
I tell him about the I've scouted around stuff.
Okay.
And I'd like to inspect his onion cutting.
Okay, yeah. He seems to. Well, he's peeling potatoes actually.
So
he's
do you want me to roll sleight of hand to see the quality?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Give it a plus. Okay, that's fine. He's peeling potato. You don't need it. You pass fine. You're peeling potatoes. He's just doing it. Just classic. Just holding he's holding his knife out and he's just sort of turning the potato around and he's just taking the skin off as one solid like one piece. It's just
I'm doing the spiral technique.
Yeah, you're doing the spiral technique.
Oh, that's fancy.
Is the E-Freed impressed?
No.
E-Freed is cutting onions.
Yeah.
With tears in his eyes.
How badly does the E-Freed cry?
Me not in pain.
Do a fortitude test.
Should be something good for him with that class.
Yeah, with a barbarian, I'm sure it's going to be high. Let's see how many fucks are given this day.
Okay.
Not many fucks are given this day.
Yeah.
A single lonely tear rolls out of his eyes, and he doesn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah, he's just really focused. He's like, cut onion,
And
cut. And he's.
Do it.
Sorry, what was that?
It made me cry, so I used my burning hands on it because it made me cry.
Pre-frying, I like it.
The smell of fried onion fills the room.
The smell of burnt onion fills the room. And then, as they see this, the elf just goes, he sort of like stops you, and then he makes you two switch positions. It's like, okay, you go on the potatoes and you can do the onions. So how many times can you cast your burning hands? A day?
Once per day.
Once a day, okay.
It made me cry. Burn.
So, this goes on for basically the remaining few days of your journey.
I'll just stop singing songs.
What type of songs? How actually give me a performance sing. Let's see how good you are.
I don't even know if I have that.
Can you do it unchecked? Probably not.
Hold on.
You can do it unchecked.
No, you can't. Just give me a basic charisma test.
I believe.
Yeah, let's see how good a singer you are. I think you have you should have a +1, I think, to your charisma.
Yeah.
Oof. Nice.
That's actually that's pretty decent. You're about as good as to be expected from somebody who isn't trained in this. You just start singing sort of like tavern songs, and a couple of
What do we do with a drunken sailor?
basically. Yeah, no, that's it. You start singing your proper pirate songs, and a couple of the other armatures start singing along.
I join in as well.
I'll join in.
All right. So every night, everybody starts singing, as you eat and so on. The Hell Knights, they sort of just take the food and they sort of just retire to their area. But the armatures join you. About half of them are as jolly as you and are singing along and everything, and the other three are.
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody roll me performance sing, and if you don't have performance, just raw charisma.
Do we have to sing?
Oh.
What do you want to do? Something else?
Because
I don't-
performance is a lot easier.
No, well, yeah, it is perform. If
I
you have
don't have sing, so I'm just
raw charisma.
rolling that.
I mean, it
charisma
depends.
plus
What do you want to do something else, Kit?
I don't know. I'll just I like try to like sneak around the ship, like pretending to mop the floor.
While
And
everyone's eating.
while everyone's eating. This is dinner time,
I
mate.
suck at singing.
Oh, okay, it's dinner time, and I'll be eating dinner.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a singing. Like I'm not here to sing.
You can just clap along.
Yeah.
Just tap your foot.
You have sing though. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
your
know.
performance.
The
Yeah.
one person who can sing.
Yeah, his performance is sing. It's the one you have.
Yeah, I know. That's
Why
what
aren't
I
you
like to
singing
sing.
You don't like to sing.
Yeah. Like
Then why did you take sing? Okay. So do you sing or do you not sing?
I don't sing with them, but I just tap along, I guess.
Okay.
I sing with them out of tune.
Oh yeah, you're 100% tone deaf, but you're fully into it. It's a great time.
The rest of us are kind of just like going along with it because that's kind of just what we're doing, what we're singing.
Yep.
And he just
Singing entirely the wrong song.
a different song.
Like he's not even singing a song; he's just mumbling.
Da, 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 da.
That's 100% what's going on. So far, this evil campaign is very wholesome.
Honestly, mate, I haven't had the chance to be evil.
No one has yet. It'd be silly to do anything stupid.
I'm glad I've added my personal touch to this game.
Yeah. It's just your absolute nutsness. Yeah, so the armigers, you end up over the course of your merry tuning, the armigers who you sort of get a more closer relationship with. The human, his name is just Zach. He's the one who's in the kitchen, the one who actually cooks. The other one, there's another one who, so basically he mostly was cleaning the cannons and so on. His name was what was his name? Zachariah. And then you have a woman with you named Olivia, and she was basically always up in the crow's nest, and she also seems to be right. So those are the three who are rather like yous. The other three.
So we got Zach the cook.
Yep, Zach the cook.
Zachariah.
Yep, he's just what was he? He mostly just works on cleaning shit in the armory and cleaning the cannons and so on. And then you have Olivia, who was mostly in the crow's nest. And those are the three who... Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones who like you. Zach and Zachariah are twin brothers, and their parents are very unoriginal with naming. They're not identical twins, though. They're just natal twins.
Right, okay.
And Olivia's an elf. Yep.
I'll better go put my daughter back to bed.
Okay, I'll let you guys go and do that. But yeah, take notes of that because you will have to get people to like you and join your cell when you start your own.
So do I have to get a spreadsheet and track freaking relationships and stuff?
If you want to, it will make things easier.
Oh boy.
It's probably not as important for the first part.
I'm just going to make note of favorable and unfavorable.
Yeah, at the moment that's all you will need to do. When you get to the actual city itself, taking note of who likes who and so on will probably be important.
Oh man, that's gonna be a fun part.
Yeah, it's an intrigue campaign. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? You're going to be doing intrigue. Because you're going to have to, take certain paths and get certain people to like you, and they may not like somebody who you do like. And then, you get shit because you're talking to the wrong person.
Hey guys, who likes flowcharts?
Yeah.
It's like those relationship charts that they have in every single show.
Yeah, man. Alright, we'll wait for what's it supposed to get back?
Alright, while we're waiting, I'm going to the toilet.
Yeah, you do that. I guess we'll take a couple minutes break here.
Okay.
I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, me neither. Da 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 da. Yeah. That's all we guys finished us. Let's look at that.
I'm back.
Excellent. Kit's gone toilet, so.
Alright, I'm
Oh,
back.
fair enough.
Oh, okay, you're both back at the same time. Excellent. That's quick.
Suspicious.
Yeah. So yeah, after a few days, you get first sight of land.
Isn't it? Don't we shout "Land ahoy"? Who's in the crow's nest?
Yeah, that's
Olivia does.
Olivia does. Yeah, she shouts
Yeah.
out that there's land ahead, and then
Thanks, Olivia.
yeah, and she just goes, "It's kind of my job."
And you're doing it very well.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
very wholesome evil characters.
yeah. Yeah, and then
Right.
the Paralictor, the troll comes out, and he's like, "Excellent!" He just walks up, and he just sort of pulls out his telescope and looks out at the land ahead. He sort of does this quick scan, and he sort of pulls out a magical artifact, and he sort of starts talking into it. And yeah, and he's basically he's speaking in what languages does everybody know?
I can read lips and common.
Okay, so that's actually useful for later on. Not gonna
Okay,
lie.
That's why I took it.
I've got Celestial, Common, Draconic, Elven, Gnome, Orc, and Sylvan.
Okay, no.
I need to
Acro,
check.
Common, Dwarven, Elven, and Sylvan.
Okay. Does anyone have Infernal?
No, but I have a spell which I can use to understand languages.
I do start casting that.
Yes.
What the hell am
I have a
language?
linguistic skill.
Don't cast that spell directly in front of them, you fool.
Like, the best I can do is do a linguistic skill. See if bits of all.
You can identify the language. Did you know any of the languages of the outer spheres, like Celestial or Abyssal or anything like that?
Wait, I'm gonna figure out what Acro is.
Akla is that's the language of this water plane, if I remember correctly.
Really?
Yes.
Apparently you know that.
Okay. Well, apparently you know that. You can give me a linguistics test. Anyway, just to see, because you do know a few languages.
I feel like it's infernal.
I already stated that, or what the language was. But actually, no, you did it really well. Yeah, you can figure out from the sort of coarseness of the thing of the language, as well as sort of the structure of it, that it is infernal, but you don't understand what's actually being said.
I can't find my languages.
Let's see, hang on, it should be at the top. I'll find it for you. Let's see. Where is it? Languages. Where are the languages? It's a good question. I can't even remember. I haven't used the PCGM for so long.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cast Comprehend Languages, but I'm gonna use my feat.
Oh, okay. So you know Common and so Ignan? I don't know how to say that. Ignan. Ignan, I guess. I'm guessing that's the Efreet language. So that'd be Plane of Fire from. But yeah, you don't have linguistics, so you can't actually identify what's being said at all. So do you cast Comprehend Languages?
Yes, but I'm gonna use my feat silent spell.
Okay, so you don't have to use a somatic component. No, you don't have to use a verbal, but you still have to use a somatic.
Yep.
Do you want a sleight of hand to see if you can sort of hide the hand gestures?
Do you have a spell slot for that? That's a level 2 spell if you do Silent Spell.
Well, yeah, he's a wizard. He
Comes
should
one
be.
spell- It's one spell slot above, and it's a first level spell, so I'll use my second.
But you're a wizard, right?
Yeah, he's a wizard.
So did he prepare it?
That's a good question. Did you?
It's in my prepared spells list.
So you prepared it as a meta magic spell on the day.
Hey?
Okay, we're
I
going
don't
to do a
understand.
lesson on meta magic. So
Why-
silence-
Why don't you not have second and third level spells?
I do.
Because it goes level 0, level 1, level 4. Why is there 5 and 6? Oh, those are just spells you know. Right, you
Yeah.
can't cast them yet.
No.
No.
How does he have 5th and 6th level spells?
He knows them
I-
because he has a spell book. So he knows the spells, he just can't cast them. They're in his
You
book.
can buy spell books.
Yeah, okay, there's your prepared list. Your prepared list only has your cantrips in
Oh,
it.
sorry. I've done that since we started.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah, I don't know how this works. I'm gonna be honest.
I'll give you a quick lowdown.
Yeah,
Wizard
yeah.
has to select every single spell for that day they're going to cast
Alright.
in the morning.
Yeah.
That includes using stuff like Silent Spell. Silent Spell, if you read the feat description, it increases the spell level. So Comprehend Languages is a first level spell. If you want to use Silent Spell on it, it
I have to
becomes
use it
a
as a second.
second. It becomes a second level spell. But because you're a wizard, you have to prepare it in the morning as
As
the
a
second level spell.
Okay, right. I
Yeah,
get you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I won't do that then. I will just stay silent.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so they're speaking Infernal, and then he sort of stops and he turns to you guys. He goes, "You guys will be going ashore. Get in
Anything
boat. Oh, get in boat. You'll be going with those two." And he points to Olivia and Zachary. You'll be infiltrating a town which is slightly to the north. That is where Colt is. You relay information, our numbers, and then we attack. Understand?
Yeah.
So we're scouting for you then, sir.
Yes.
Very well. I'm sure we're capable of this.
And he gives you a sort of similar magic orb to the one he's holding, but it's much smaller. And he goes, "Use this to relay information." And he gives it to you, since you seem to be the most responsible out of the lot here.
Okay.
So just add orb of, I don't know, just communication orb. I don't know if there's an actual magic item for it, but that's what it is.
I'll assume I have it until you tell me to take it off. Until
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Okay. Excellent. So yeah, they give that to you, and then yeah, they get you. You'll jump into one of the rowboats, and yeah, they take you ashore.
Am I able to row?
If you want to, yes.
Can you row the boat?
Yeah.
Row your boat. Chat,
Yes.
sing for us.
I'm gonna sing for it.
Yep. Excellent. Do you just assume that you're bad at singing, or do you try to actually sing properly? Okay. Apparently, you all of a sudden just start singing in this surprisingly. Yeah, he hit all the notes. So throughout this entire journey, he's been totally tone deaf. Then all of a sudden, he just gets almost pitch perfect singing the songs.
It's a song that he knows.
I kind of look at him in like a little bit of surprise and shock, and just kind of go, "All right," and then join in.
Okay.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
I kind of imagine he went from row your boat to row your boat, like the freaking opera or something. Just like cracks it out like Susan Boyle or something.
Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Everyone was just in shock.
Yeah. Just out of nowhere.
Bro, he woke.
And you realize it's probably because he's not drunk this time.
Oh.
Oh!
So that's where the grog went.
Excellent. So yeah, you start to approach the shoreline, and eventually you get off. And then the other two armatures look at you, and they're like, "Right, well, we'll be following your lead. Well, which one of you is taking point? Somebody should do it."
I'll take point.
I was thinking the guy who's big and punches things really, really hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna scout around.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna like stealthy and like scout and stuff.
Yeah.
What's
Wait,
my
do I
stealth?
get my horse
Oh,
out?
that's right.
Your stuff should be good because you're an assassin.
Yes, plus 17, so I can do stealth stuff.
Holy crap!
That's only wearing my armor though. I have to deduct 5 if I'm not wearing my armor, like I currently am not.
Do you want to put your armor on?
Can I put it on underneath my social disguise? I don't know if I can.
I'm going to assume not. I'm going to assume you actually have to change into your armor.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Changing from one identity to takes a minute and must be done out of sight. It's more than just changing outfit and clothing. It often involves applying makeup, altering your hair, adjusting personal effects.
Do you want to go to that much effort, or are you just going to put the armor on? Totally.
I'm just going to remain as myself, because I mean, if we're infiltrating and scouting right now, I'm just going to stay with my social personality.
Okay.
I gotta ask, do I get my horse, or is are you just not giving it to me?
You came ashore as is now, so you don't have your horse at the moment.
Dang it, that's what most of my crap are. Alright. I guess I'll be playing with my revolver today.
Well, if you get into combat, yeah. At the moment, this is just a scouting.
Yep. Alright, good thing alright. I'll do a... I should have taken that spell. That's such a good spell. Alright. I'll turn myself to a random a random person. And then... there's no point wearing this guise. Is there? No.
Well, no one knows who you are.
Be a farmer or something. No one knows who you are.
Yeah, no, it's just what...
Unless it's a village of like 100 people, then they're gonna know that you're not one of them.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna try to disguise myself as unsuspecting as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you just dress up as like a commoner. Do you make yourself look like... What race do you make yourself look like?
I can only make myself as a human.
Okay, so you just look like a human. Just a human farmer.
Yep. A human farmer.
Do the other two go to any preparations, or you just like, fuck it?
I'll even use my disguise kit to put on some farmer-looking makeup.
So why do you need a disguise kit for that? You just pick up some mud and slap it on your face.
Bro, go roll around with the pigs, GG.
No.
It's actually a misconception. Farmers didn't walk around covered in mud all the time. Yeah.
Why would
I was
they?
gonna say
That'd be
more.
disgusting.
Yeah, so you just look like a farmer, just like a milkmaid or something. Yeah, so you're all good. And yeah, then the barbarian. Do you wear any more clothes than just a loincloth and some gauntlets and boots?
Remember, I have leather armor on.
Okay, so you actually have like leathers on. Okay. And the wizard's still wearing just rope.
Yes.
It's the cloak of infinite twine.
Yeah.
It's the rope of infinite twine.
So he can pull out infinite rope.
Yeah. I figured. I'm surprised you didn't go with a rope of bones.
Well, no, because that would be too obvious.
That's fair enough.
Good point.
If someone just walked in just like wearing bones, like, oh, yep, this guy's up to something. But if someone walks in just wearing rope, you'll just think he's weird.
Yeah. Right.
And that's fine by me.
Okay, Miss Disguise, does she Is she happy with the way the Ifrit and the wizard look?
Question. Okay, I'll roleplay this. Well, gentlemen, as we're infiltrating or scouting this village, are we entering or simply going to look around?
I'd like to enter.
You would like to enter?
I like
Very
to
well.
enter.
I suggest we assume the most unimposing appearances possible.
Alright, I pull out my wand of disguise and disguise
You have
the Ifrit. And tap it on the Ifrit to make it look like a random looking human. And tap it on the who else needs disguise?
The wizard.
The wizard to make it look like a random human looking farmer.
And our two compatriots.
Alright, that's okay.
We got Zach and we got Olivia.
I thought they would be normal, like generic looking humans. Okay.
Yeah, they. It's
Yeah.
one's a half elf, one's a human.
Oh, okay.
They've just put on some commoner's clothes.
Okay, so they are in disguise. No problem.
Yeah,
And I'm just wearing my general appearance stuff.
yeah.
I'm in my social personality, so it doesn't matter. I just have all my stuff hidden.
Still
So
got
it's
your
like
hidden
cyber
daggers.
hand checks and yeah, I got hidden daggers. So it's like cyber hand checks and stuff.
Yep. Do you
look
just
at
want to?
myself
Do you
in
just
utter
want to take
confusion.
10?
Oh yeah, of course. No, so it's 21.
I'll just assume you can
Um,
take 10.
I look at
Yeah.
myself in utter confusion.
How do you look at yourself?
Like, why do I look like this?
Because we're gonna be
Like-
walking in.
Like, I'm not used to this. He's petting his arms to see if they feel normal.
They do.
Yeah.
Disguise is parents, not touch. You will feel normal, but you will look different.
Well, that'd probably be even more confusing for him.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh wait, this is not.
I look at Kit and go, you should have given him a moment before doing that to him. My tall friend, fear not, you are simply disguised. You are still yourself.
How tall am I now?
Like 6'11" or something, wasn't
No,
it?
your height will still be the same.
It just changes your appearance. You're still freaking huge.
Yeah, you're still like brawny as fuck looking now.
Do you just basically make him look like a sort of just like the classic village idiot type look, the strong man?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
farmer, brawny farmer, Uber, like fucking muscle.
So you've just turned him into Hodor, basically.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, that's sad.
It is.
Hold the door.
Yeah, that's dumb.
The feels.
Right.
Alright, guys. I think we.
Let's stop getting sad about stuff and crack
Yep.
on there.
Let's go.
Alright, so you go to the town. Well, you start making your way towards the town, going northward, as you were told to do. And yeah, eventually you come along the town, and I'll just switch you guys over to the town. So,
Town, though.
Ooh.
Ooh. Zoom out.
yeah, I need to zoom out. So here's the basic layout. There's farms. So you're coming from the south, so you're coming from the bottom. There's not really this many buildings. This is just rough approximation of the layout. So it's got the main central road. It has just with all the buildings going down the side. There's numerous farm lots around the place. Just from looking at the town, there's probably around 18 buildings in this town. You can sort of see like outlying buildings across the farms and so on, in like small groups of like 2 to 3. And there's a sort of a. It's not 100% decrepit, but there's a ran down keep. You can tell probably the Baron who runs this keep has probably fallen out of hard times. Do you guys want to give me a perception test? See further information as you're sort of approaching the town. Okay, so
Man, morals have been terrible.
Anthony and Kit got 18 and 19. So the barbarian doesn't notice jack shit. You just sort of look around. You just see people being people. You're just like, people are doing things and don't really notice that much. But Kit, everybody else, Kit, Marcus, and Anthony, you all notice sort of. You can see the priests of Rosmere sort of walking around with their masks on, and they seem to be accompanied by, each of them seems to be accompanied by a group of like 4 thugs, and they sort of going through all the buildings, and so you can see them like taking out sort of valuables, and as well as sort of some like religious icons and books and so on, and they're taking them, and they also seem to be taking them to the keep, and there seems to be you sort of don't really count the numbers, but you sort of, both Anthony and Kit can sort of roughly count there's at least a couple of dozen of them in this town, and they all seem to be going towards the keep.
So there's something happening in the keep that's related to...
That's probably where the high priest is. So we were requested to get numbers, formations, and stuff like that.
I'd like to... Like, will there be a general store?
You would have to enter the town itself to find that, but yeah. This is just your quickly sort of like approaching, and you're just looking, and you can sort of see these groups walking around.
I have diplomacy.
All right, you did.
What are you planning?
What are you planning, my friend?
Do you tell them their plans, or do you just run ahead and do something? How reckless are you?
I can ask the people to tell me what they're doing.
Which people?
Roleplay at all?
What are you doing, big guy?
So we're walking up. What
The
happened?
town people.
There.
Okay.
So he approaches the first town person that he sees.
Do you want roll me a wisdom? No, give me a sense motive. I'm gonna see if you can figure out, if you can point out who's a townsman versus who's just who's one of the thugs and priests.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, are we about to witness our first character death?
Oh man, this is gonna be... That's good. That should be alright.
That's actually not that bad. I was expecting worse.
Good.
Yeah, no.
-1.
I
How do
know.
you have a -1?
Yeah. So you walk up to somebody. He's a burly man, quite pudgy. Has a big black beard with specks of grey in it, and he's got a cap on his head. And you just walk up to him.
I say, can you tell me what's happening in this area?
He just goes.
Is that
He just looks at you, and he seems rather like sort of distressed, but he's just like, more strangers. Where are you from? Coming from south? Are you from Rickton? Don't tell me they're down there too.
I walk up and go, so you know of them then? Tell me, how was I doing here?
I roll this for my diplomacy.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't intervene.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you say? You have to actually respond to him.
Yeah, they're two. I was wondering what they've been doing here.
Well, they've been taking all our holy artifacts, all our prayer beads and everything, and they've been taking them up to the keep, and they've just been taking any of our savings that they can find as well, and yeah, they're just all taken to the keep. We haven't heard from the Baron or his family the whole time. We don't know who they are or what they want. They're talking about some... I've seen about 5 of them. 5 of the masked ones. And they always walk around with a group of goons with them as well.
Okay.
Like, when he says that there are 5 of the masks on, I would like to ask, is there a difference between the masks one? It's just like a higher, like, a
Is
higher
there a leader?
rank one? Yeah.
He just goes, I don't know I don't know who's in charge. I can't tell. They all look the same to me. They just come in and just take our stuff, and they're going on about some living god. I don't know what they're talking about.
I walk up to him and I kind of just kind of like very friendly approach. You seem on hard times, and I reach my pocket and I pull out like a couple gold pieces. And go, here, take this. Don't let them take it this time though.
He just like looks at them, a couple of gold pieces, goes, "I won't," and he just like puts them down his pants, just like really quickly.
I then I slide up to him, like pull my arm around him. Tell me, what gods do you worship here?
Well, the main god is Estrel, but we also pay homage to Pharisma and Abada.
Stop writing down these names.
So obviously those are big gods that everybody would know. Estrel being the.
All right, Estrel, Pharisma, and who?
Abada. Is it Abada? Yeah, the lawful neutral god of commerce and cities. So yeah, he's the commerce and cities. He's one of the major gods. Then you obviously Estrel is the god of
at the mention of Abada, I go, yes, I do worship him. I'm a merchant myself. Now I hail from the south, a little further than Rickton. However, these priests seem to be spreading. Have you met anyone who might oppose them? Anyone who stands up against them?
He just goes shh, shh, and he just he just looks around quickly, sees any priests, and he sort of spots one. He goes, "That's like, go around the side." He signals just like, "Meet me around the side of the building in about 5 minutes."
Excellent. I'll see you in a moment. And okay. I kind of usher to the group to like walk off, and we kind of just mingle around or something while this priest walks past or whatever.
Yeah. So the priests walk up and they start talking to the blacksmith, and he's sort of just like he seems to be somewhat panicked by them, and then one of the thugs punches him in the face, and then they sort of start beating him in the street.
Do I intervene? No, I don't.
No fuck forgiven.
Yeah, as he's being beaten, I kind of look at I turn to the group and I go, well, it's unfortunate that our informant has met some interruptions.
Wait, that was our informant?
I say that with a tone of sarcasm.
Wait, that was our informer?
I thought that was just a random blacksmith. Okay. That's weird.
No, I was being sarcastic.
It is a random blacksmith.
It is a random blacksmith. I'm the only person who should be believing that statement's the barbarian.
Yeah, well, what's everybody's base sense motive? So we know the barbarian's got -1. What's everyone else's?
My base sense motive is 7.
7, not bad. What about the bard? 1? Yeah. Jesus, that's not good for a bard.
Yeah. Sense motive is wisdom, right? Yeah.
Yeah. What's your versatile performance?
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have one. Shit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's
the bard ability that allows them to use performance in place of 2 other abilities.
Mm.
And I think Sing is like sense motive and bluff or something like that.
No, it was it's disguise and
it's disguise.
Disguise and bluff, actually.
Okay, I think then it must be auditory, which is sense motive. But yeah, they each give you different skills that you can roll performance instead of, which is very good. But he doesn't have it, so
yeah,
hurts a little bit. And what was the wizard's base sense motive?
9.
9. Oh shit, you got the highest.
Man, 1 highest wisdom.
Man, I got 7 with a single skill point.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, everybody except for the barbarian picks up on the sarcasm straight away.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
So I turn to the 2. What'd you call them again? The page guys.
The arbigers.
Arbiters. I send the 2 arbiters and I go, so we know there's 5 priests, a couple of groups of thugs, and probably assuming a high priest. Would that suffice for our information?
It's good for now. We know there's at least 5. There may be more. We don't know. They may only, since they're masked as the priests are, there may be more, and they only count 5. So we know at least 5. We'll say that at least. I said at least a lot right there.
Yeah. I turn to the rest of the group and go, I see no reason for us to endanger ourselves at this point. Shall we return and pass on the information?
I would like to go to a general store and buy a map of the local area.
I kind of like wave it off and, well, we should wait for you here.
Yeah. So do you guys all still wait by the side of the building, or do you guys move somewhere else?
I'm just gonna start wandering back down the road.
Yeah. We will slowly
I'm
leave.
running back.
You're running, okay. Oh
Yeah.
no. What information is he going to pass on if he gets there first?
You're the one with the message orb, so...
Yeah, right! Yeah, I call it in.
Yeah, so do you guys move somewhere else, or do you just... Where are you guys doing?
I walk out of like eyesight of the village and then call it in. So I
Okay,
go
yeah.
back into the forest. So I go around the corner, make sure I can't be seen by anyone.
Yeah, so you could go around just to the back of the blacksmith and into the actual smithy itself if you wanted to not take a massive walk. Yeah, so...
Well, the way I see it, I'm heading back anyway unless they tell us not to, so...
Okay, so
I'm
yes.
heading back
So
outside.
yeah, you just start heading back, and then once you sort of get to the tree line of the forest, you just call it in, and yeah, and
Yep.
So a voice you haven't heard before answers. He goes, yes. So what have you to report?
Preliminary scouts of the village indicate roughly at least 5 priests of Risma, potentially a high priest, bargaining with the local baron who hasn't been heard of, and various groups of thugs that accommodate each priest as they bully the locals.
All right. So how many of these thugs do you reckon there are?
Average 4 to 5 per priest.
Okay. So there's at least 30 you're counting. That'd be right. So
30
no.
thugs.
Okay.
No one immediately threatening if I met him in the back alleyway.
All right. Good to know. We'll send some more support team as well as your animal compatriot and the rest of your gear. We'll move in at sundown, and we'll do a basic pinch maneuver. We have another group to the north, so they will attack from the north. You'll attack from the south, and then you'll force your way into the keep. And
excellent. Can I request perhaps at least something to break down the door for the keep? It looks decrepit, however. I despise the act of forcing the way through without the proper tools required.
Yes, we understand. We will be the group to the north. The group to the north. They have a weapons team. They will be bringing one cannon with them. I'm sure that will suffice at breaking down any doors that you need to get through.
That sounds sufficient to me. What's the signal for us to attack?
So you will use this orb. As soon as we are done with this conversation, I will be reattuning the orb to their orb. You'll be able to communicate with them directly and coordinate the assault.
So true.
Excellent. Sounds good. Anything else required?
This seems well enough. I'm sure you can handle this. This will be your first proving. If you can't handle this, then, well, we didn't really lose anything, and we'll send in a more advanced force, and you would have just proven that the council was wrong in picking you. So do not disappoint, obviously. That goes without saying.
And tell me, you've picked us for a reason, of course, for our selective skills. Mine are to eliminate a person, and I
Yes.
require payment for this. I'm a red mantis after
Yes,
all. What is
yes.
the price for the head? Or per head, if I shall ask so politely.
So per priest of Rezima, we'll give you 500. 500 is quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll say 100 gold per priest of Rezima and 500 for the high priest.
Sounds perfect to me. Thank you very kindly.
And if you can, if the Baron and his family is still alive, we'd like them to keep. We'd like to keep them this way, and we'd like to get information from them. So if the Baron himself is still alive, we'll also give you an additional payment depending on his condition.
Very well.
Will there be anything further?
I'll call in if there's anything else.
Excellent. Okay, I'll be reattuning this to them. However, they have one of the better communication orbs, so they should be able to relay any information to me once I attune it. All right. If there's nothing further, I'll begin the reattunement.
Thank you very much for your assistance.
Excellent. Yep. And then it just sort of the orb fades, and then you sort of see it like flickering with different colors, and then it sort of the flickering sort of stops again, and then you hear another voice. So you are the group to the south.
We are indeed.
Excellent. So your supplies will be coming in the next half an hour, so you should be able to arm up, get ready, and at nightfall we will attack. We'll attack from the north, you attack from the south. Do you have any objections to this plan?
Sounds perfectly fine to me.
Excellent.
All I ask is you leave the High Priest for our group. I have a bone to pick.
That is fine. If you don't mind me being so bold, we could attack first. We are a fully armed group of Hell Knights, after all. If we serve as the main distraction, we should be able to get you into the keep itself and fight the main groups if you want to take on the High Priest alone.
I'm more than comfortable doing so with this group. Should we infiltrate, that sounds sufficient. There is one who is a little less inclined for the stealth arts, so he may join your group, but we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. We can sort out more when the night comes.
Indeed.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll call that the end to this session. We'll probably pick up again next week. Fine with everyone else?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, same time. Yep. So yeah, we'll be joining you all again this time next week as well for the actual assault of the small town here. If you enjoyed, remember to like, subscribe, and share, and so on. And we'll see you all again next time. Have a great day.